It's been well documented, by me, that last year's power rankings fell short of expectations. The position error rate for the last year was 4.7 to 5.0. I blame the two blockbuster trades last year which shifted the balance of power. But when it's all said and done, the buck stops here. I've decided to resign. I apologize to the victims and their families. Thoughts and prayers. Taking over the power rankings is someone who hasn't gotten a single pick wrong so far in her whole life. Introducing Pepperoni, the prediction puppy.
Are you going to? Okay, Prediction Puppy has asked me to read her power picks for her. We'll start with the stinkers. Pepperoni, the Prediction Puppy, has Travis in the ironically auspicious 14th spot. Over the last 2 years, the 14th ranked team has been in the finals, but we're under new management now, so other than Saquon, Travis's running backs won't see many snaps. His wide receivers are 2+ years past their prime, and Wentz won't need to throw with such a great Philly D. Ryan is still a fucking homer, and is the only team in the league that only drafted 3 wide receivers. Kevin's wide receiver core looks inconsistent and touchdown deficient, henceforth known as TDD. Melvin is a cash cow, but his other running backs are sketch. Will he join Santos with a 2 tight end lineup? Next are the dogs. The reigning champ is slated not to repeat. His running backs have good depth, but no studs. His good wide receivers are temperamental, suspended, and agelessly old. Pepperoni and I will be rooting for Alex Smith, but it's hard to see his strengths shining in DC. Scott could get good production from his running backs, but he's a little thin there. Michael Thomas will find the end zone a bunch. Michael Crabtree could, but his wide receivers will be, again, TDD. Zach is hoping for a Cooper comeback, Jimmy G to spread it around, and Smash Mouth football to return to Seattle, so at least he's a diversified homer. As for the fighters, Pepperoni has a B for Santos' wide receivers, but that's just an average of the 2 possible outcomes. Fuller and Gordon haven't been able to play more than a couple games in a row, but when they do, all 4 of his running backs are only getting a portion of the snaps, so it's a question of whether any of them can earn a decent workload. For Dan, he's got a bunch of monster wide receivers. They aren't all fantasy studs, but their size makes them formidable on end zone threats. He also has a lot of split-time backs, but at least Drake will take the Dolphins' share of the snaps. JR's running back picks did not fare well this preseason, but he's full of misplaced optimism. His wide receivers are big game threats, and he's very interested to see what Rodgers can do with Jimmy G. The Lions, assuming Brett can retain his players this year, his team looks decent. Johnson and Miller should get plenty of action, and his other running backs are flex-worthy. His wide receivers are alright, but the Rams' D could be a difference maker for him. Ty's running backs could regularly reach 30 points, so he doesn't need much else. Mercifully, he didn't pick that good of wide receivers, so we'll all have a chance against him. Brian has both luck and TY, so if they really are back to form, the duo will be deadly. Add in Kamara and Antonio Brown? Not really a team I'd want to see. I don't know why Pepperoni would predict a team to go far when they used an 8th round pick on a stupid kicker. However, his unconventional pick process makes him look studly in most categories, and Chris has an intriguing mix of lauded youth and former stars with something to prove. As for the top dog, he's got a running back that can get you 49 points and a half. Adams, who caught touchdowns regularly last year, and as Seattle's D diminishes, Wilson's fantasy value increases. Sherrill's got a good kicker and solid D, and is sporting 2 fragile but top-of-the-line tight ends. The views expressed by this program are those of Pepperoni the Prediction Puppy and not necessarily portents of future events. The insights shared are for entertainment purposes only and should not be the basis for high-stakes gambling.